Can you become a freight broker with no experience in logistics? Hi, my name is Louis and I am with Freight Broker Mentor and Freight Skills, and in this video I'm going to answer one of the most common questions that I get on a daily basis from new brokers, and that is, can I become a freight broker with absolutely no experience in the industry? Now, there are a few degrees of ways that you could get involved with logistics. You could be a shipping manager, you could be a dispatcher, a truck driver, or a broker agent. But the question on everybody's mind is, if I've never done any of these things, can I get into the brokerage industry and can I be successful? And now, the first thing that might be on your mind is this industry too saturated? And to answer that question, I did a whole video, I'll link that right here, where you're gonna be able to see my answer to, is this industry too saturated? But in short, if I have to give you an answer, the answer is no, it's not saturated, and it's only poised for more growth in the future as industry picks up, economies grow, and just in general, the world just keeps moving forward. All right, but let's get back to this question. If you've never done anything in logistics before, can you just turn around, be a freight broker, and be successful from day one? Now, the answer is a little bit complicated, so I'm gonna do the best I can to give you an answer with enough info so that you can make a decision for yourself. And of course, I like to make these videos as informative as possible, so not only am I gonna give you the answer, I'm gonna tell you what I would do to get started as a freight broker if I didn't have any experience, right? What I would look for, what I would do, the steps that I would take, all of that stuff. So make sure you watch this video until the end. So now you absolutely can get into the freight broker industry if you have no experience at all. And not having experience might even put you at an advantage. And to explain that, I'm gonna tell you a little bit of my personal experience with people who have no experience in logistics. Now, I've hired many people over the course of my career, and amongst all those people, there are two types of people that have stood out as common applicants. One of those types is somebody who's been in the industry for 20 to 30 years as a truck driver or on some degree of logistics, right? Either they were working for a company and they want to come be a broker, or they were driving a truck and they want to get out of the truck and come work for us as brokers. The other type of person is someone who's never seen a truck, has no idea what a truck is, but they have people experience or sales experience. Now, if I had to put a number on the percentage of industry experienced people who have made it with our company, it is less than 30%. Right? So for every 10 people that I've hired with industry experience, maybe 3 of them have worked out. And the reason is, when you work in a different sector of the logistics industry, it's very easy for you to learn bad habits. You don't learn about the day-to-day of being a broker, and being a broker is a lot different than all of the other processes in the other areas. Being a broker is a lot different than being a truck driver. Calling a shipper, even as a truck driver, is a lot different than calling them when you're in the broker's chair. So there are a lot of key differences, and when you transition from one area of the industry to another, it's really hard for you to forget everything that you learned and sort of fall back on those old habits, right? So you end up relying on how you've always done things, and that ends up being a detriment and slowing down your growth. And ultimately, in the end, you fail and you quit because you're tired of not getting those results. When you take the other type of people that I've seen that have come into our brokerage, those who have no experience in logistics, what I find is that those people are very easy to teach. They learn much better. They're more open to learning new methods and new ideas. And those people are usually the most successful agents, right? Whether that be in sales or dispatch, whatever the case is. We have a huge diversity of people in our own brokerage. We have people with college degrees in other subjects. We have people who have worked in plants. We have people who never seen a truck until they came into our building. A majority of them all shared the same characteristic, and that was the openness to learn and the ability to get rid of any bad habits that they had with previous jobs or in previous industries. don't feel like you are at a disadvantage if you're coming into this industry with no experience at all. So let's get into what exactly are your options. Like, what can you do if you do want to get started and you have no experience, right? Because when you're starting in a new industry, you don't have contacts, you don't have a network. And with brokering and logistics in general, there's a very closed and tight-knit community. We have our own language. We have our own ways of doing things that are really going to be difficult for you to learn without any help. Okay, so the first thing that I can recommend if you're trying to get into brokering without any experience is to find some way to get some support. If you have never brokered a load before, if you've never spoken to a truck driver, the first thing that I would suggest is look into some options for coaching. I have a coaching program. It's a monthly program where I have everything laid out from step 1 to step 150 of how to book a load, set up your brokerage, get funding, all of that stuff. And I help people and students with the day-to-day. So when you have that problem, the load, or you can't find somebody to write your insurance policy, you come to our group and we tell you exactly where to go. That's one option. There are many other options. You can go to live training, you can go to school for it, which I don't recommend. But there are plenty of ways for you to get support and learn the basic foundations of the industry. If you are interested in what that might look like for the way that I do it, the link is right down below. Just visit that page, read everything about it. It'll show you how it works, what our process is, and some results that some of our students are getting. And now, if coaching is not for you, but you have no experience and you still want to get into brokering, the next option that I would personally look at is becoming an agent or working for another brokerage. And now there are pros and cons to becoming an agent for another broker. There are obviously time pros and cons, right? Like, I don't know if you want to sacrifice your time for money. If your dream is to own your own business, then that's a completely different conversation. I'm not going to tell you, go work for another brokerage when your dream is to own your own business and make your own decisions, right? Going to work for another brokerage is the complete opposite of that. But if your goal is time freedom and financial freedom, a viable option for you will be to sign on as an agent with another broker. The benefit to this is that brokers provide back-end office support and just general day-to-day support when you are an agent of their business, right? When you become an agent, you're essentially being an extension of the business. We hire agents, and the way that we do it is when we bring an agent on, we pretty much are in their pocket. We call them every day to make sure they need help, what they need help with. I help them close leads. I help them talk with customers to work out claims issues. Because at the end of the day, as an agent, you're not only representing yourself, but you're representing the brokerage that you work with, right? So becoming an agent is the easiest way. It's a very low barrier to entry, and there are so many brokerages out there that need highly motivated people. It's very easy for you to cold call or reach out on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever. Express your interest in joining the team, and they're very likely to give you a shot. So that is my quick answer to the question, can you get started freight brokering with no experience? You absolutely can, but is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. And at some point, if you are getting started with no experience, you do have to seek help from either coaching or mentors, or by taking the role as an agent in another brokerage where you can learn from professionals that are already doing it on a daily basis. And now, this isn't a popular answer. A lot of brokers who have been in the industry a long time, if you go through forums and Facebook groups, you're going to see a lot of negativity around getting started. But the response that I have for that is that you can say the same thing about just about any industry in the world. And the people who are the most successful and the people who make anything work for themselves are the ones who ignored all of the noise, and the ones who don't listen to the people who say, don't do this, don't do that, you can't do that, you know, it's too saturated, all of these things. All of these things are just excuses trying to project their beliefs onto others. So if owning a brokerage is something that you want to do, don't let a few negative comments talk you out of doing it. There's always a way to figure things out. Our brokerage, my brokerage that I run is my family brokerage. It's been around for about 25 years now, so 10 years before I started running it. And the whole thing was started based off of an idea and a desire for my parents at the time, who had started this, to build something of their own so that they have the impact, income, and freedom to do whatever they want with their time and their money. And that's all that started this entire brokerage, which has now grown to be a pretty substantial size, right? So the best time to start is right now. You know, just like they say, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is today. Again, if you are trying to get into this with no experience at all, you do need to seek some kind of guidance, whether that be with a mentorship or a coaching program, or as an agent under other brokers. Now, if you are interested in my coaching option that I spoke about before, just visit the link below. You'll find all the details on that page. I don't push it very hard, but I have a very close connection with the people in that group. They are my students, and I actively run a brokerage right now. So believe me, I don't need any more things on my plate, but if you'd like to come along for the ride, I'm inviting you to check that out. Now, I hope that video helped you, and if you've been on the fence about starting a brokerage or entering this really exciting industry, I definitely would like you along for the ride. So, if you want to get some more help with this stuff, what I recommend is you go down and you're going to see a link to my group. It's called the Freight Broker Network. This group's completely free. I want to invite you to join it. Just click the link, click the join button. I'll let you in myself, and this group is where me and all my broker friends hang out. We talk brokering, rates, try to cover loads with each other, and just generally try to keep a positive environment around this industry to support each other in our growth. So I'd love to have you inside. Make sure you join that. If this video helped you, hit that follow button so you don't miss out on any more, and I will see you on the next video.